Carlos, you live yet? Welcome everybody, this is 3 Wide TV, and we are coming to you live at Thompson International Speedway for the Legends Racing League. It's the Thompson 50, and this is the third race out of, I think, about 7 or 8 races in this season. This is 3 Wide TV's first race doing the Legends Racing League. I'm Johnny Thomas, and joining alongside me is Gary Weaver, his first time in the 3 Wide TV racing booth. Gary, thanks for joining us here today, and we're going to see about 50, actually, we're going to see 80 laps here at Thompson Speedway.
Yep, 80 laps, 50 miles here, and you can see the weather now, the track information, pretty much 0.5 miles, and of course, 4 turns. Welcome to your usual ovals, and 6 drivers here, 7 minutes, 7.5 minutes remaining. It's definitely going to be a very exciting race here today, Johnny.
Yeah, and this is something I'm not too accustomed to, Gary. We're actually broadcasting a Legends race. I've never done that before, but I've been in these cars, and they're a lot of fun. This is actually a pretty big track compared to some of the tracks they race on. I know they race on the Charlotte quarter-mile track, the oval track. They race on a lot of quarter miles. This is a pretty big track. 0.63 miles is Thompson International Speedway. You see the modifieds race here a lot. But today it's legend cars, and after race number 3, actually race number 2, the point standings are as follows. Malachi Drake is the points leader with Eric Heater in second, and Logan Rumsey. Logan actually won last week. He's third in points, and right now on the top of the board in practice, we got about 6 minutes left, and it's Ricky Smith with a lap of 22:56. And Gary, I haven't done a whole lot of legend cars races. I've actually probably never been here in a Legends car. Can you tell us a little bit about Thompson Speedway and the Legends cars if you've been in it?
Oh, definitely. And I've unfortunately had an unfortunate experience with the outside wall of turn number 2 and turn number 4 in general. For some reason, they just don't like me whatsoever. But you just have to be pretty careful heading into the corners, as we are now currently watching JR, and he's going to spin or drift into turn number 1, too. Of course, you just have to be careful on exit mainly, as that wall coming up on the outside is going to be very, very quick if you have an incorrect speed coming out of the turns.
Now, I've been here in the truck series before, and it seems like the preferred lane was that grip strip down there, like the middle lane, middle bottom lane. But I'm watching Ricky Smith. We got Ricky Smith on the air right now, and he seems to be running a little bit of an upper groove at Thompson. Is that the preferred lane here?
Yeah, pretty much. That's what you want to run, or at least that grip strip as well. The thing that you really don't want to run, though, hanging into the corner, is that very bottom lane, unless you're heading down in the pit road like Ricky is doing right now. That's the only time they actually want to run that bottom lane. So, watching JR right now, we're going to see what line he uses. Yeah, just about that grip strip. 2 drivers in front of him using that grip strip as well. And look at this onboard right here, coming up quick on the car. So that's basically the line that you want to run. It's just braking as smooth as possible and being very careful on your throttle and making sure you don't get the outside wall, just like JR did right there.
And is this a track, the Legend car, for my experience being on some of these tracks in Legend cars, I've always battled a little bit of a loose condition. Is Thompson more of a looser side of the car, or is it more on the tight side?
Thompson is more of a, at least from my experience, a little bit of a tight side. Again, just depending on how much throttle you have, and again, it's just all in control and what line you're running. So it's never, for me at least, really been loose running here at Thompson, just very tight, especially coming out of the corners. And since we have 80 laps, and we're currently watching the double zero right now, but since it's 80 laps, I assume that tire wear may become a factor in this race.
I'd have to imagine. I'm looking on the garage area. I was trying to see if this is a fixed setup or an open, and it looks like it is a open setup. So you could see guys that are really fast and then guys that don't hit the setup that good and are slower. I haven't seen any of the races, the past races that we've shown, but just by looking at the the scoreboard right now in practice times, Ricky Smith has a 4/10 of a second lead over second place J.R. Hager. And that's a pretty big gap just from coming from the stock car side of things. 4/10 is a decent gap over second place.
Yeah, and in Legends, that is a insanely an insane amount of difference as well. So it's going to be quite interesting. Both Ricky and JR are the only two drivers that have actually broken through into the 22-second barrier. Everybody else has been running 23.2s, 23.3 and 23.6. So you can see Eric, and he's that driver with the 23.6, unfortunately. So we're going to see as he's running that grip strip right there coming out of the corner. That's the preferred line mainly that you want to run. So in terms of lap times, I'm pretty sure we're going to be seeing Ricky and JR battling it out here in the first few laps.
Yeah, and that's always been the preferred line in the truck series when I raced here a couple years ago in a league. But yeah, from first to sixth, we only actually got 7 entries here today. Eric Heater has not run a lap yet, but Keplinger is 6th, and he's over a second off the pace. And with the 6 guys here, I'd imagine this race going by pretty fast and pretty spread out based on practice times.
Yeah, this race is definitely going to get spread out very quickly, like you mentioned, with the lap times, especially right now, from what we can tell, is that this race is going to be very spread out throughout this entire race, unless somebody does have an unfortunate accident, and of course that may happen, but that's probably just going to be coming with the wall. And especially here at Thompson, again, with the outside wall, if somebody gets the outside wall and you're right there on the inside, and that person unfortunately cannot control that car in time, well, you're going to be looking at the inside, and unfortunately you're going to be unwillingly mowing the lawn a little bit, and the landscapers are probably not going to be happy about that.
No, I don't think they would be. I've been looking at the I rating on some of these guys, and it's spread out all over the place. We got guys in the hundreds in I rating, and then Ricky Smith, the guy in practice right now, has over a 3,600 rating. So it's definitely a big difference in I rating here. So it'll be interesting to see if some of these guys with the lower rating can kind of compete with Ricky. Ricky actually is 5th in points. He's done 2 out of the 3 starts here this year in the Legends Racing Series. So, and actually Ricky does not have a win yet, so maybe Thompson will be Ricky Smith's first win this year in the Legends Racing Series.
If he does get that, that's going to be a huge help for him. As I'm looking at the standings for the first race, at least in first place, I'm seeing 156 points, so that would be 156 points to Ricky if he does win this race. So that would be a huge help to him as well.
Yeah, and the gap is humongous. I know some of these guys have only missed 1 race, but over 120 point difference. I don't know how they run points here, but that seems like a huge gap.
Yeah, it seems easy to make up though as well in the process. So I'm seeing 156, 149, 144, 144 again, although that is with bonus points. So it looks like 6 bonus points possibly if you win. So roughly about 150 points if you win. I'm seeing 6 bonus points for first in that first race as well. So again, if Ricky can get this win, that's going to be, again, just a huge help for him.
Yeah, no, I'm trying to do the average here. I'm not too good on my math, but total points 433 is the points leader. That's Malachi. And only 3 races. So these guys are getting over 110 points a race. So I'd like to hear how they keep track of their points. As actually practice is up right now. It's winding down with over 2 seconds left. That'll end it. Ricky Smith is your practice winner, but we still got to qualify and do 80 laps here at Thompson. And before we get started with this race, I'd like to thank everybody for joining us here. This is 3Wide TV. If you're paying attention at home, if you're watching on YouTube, please follow us, subscribe on 3Wide TV, or follow us on Twitter. And our Twitter is at 3Wide TV. Those are the words 3Wide TV, no numbers included. So follow us on Twitter if you're interested in us doing a broadcast. Send us an email or private message us on Twitter. Our email, I think Carlos keeps changing it, is 3Wide Television, 3Wide Television at gmail.com. I think that is it. So if you want to email us, give us a shout out. As qualifying is getting ready to start right now. And Donald Wharton is the first one to complete a lap, and it's a 33:13 for Donald, as Ricky Smith is completing his second lap right now.
And he's coming out of the corner right now. We're going to see what he has on the board. That's his first lap, I believe, actually, and now it's the second. 23.778, and there goes Ricky to the front of the board now.
Ricky Smith at a 22 point. What was that, Gary? A 23 point what?
23.7 for Donald, 23.3 for Malachi is in second. First place is Ricky. He's got
22.6. Yeah, so that's a fast lap for Ricky Smith. See if he can better it here. And no, it'll be a 22.63 for Ricky Smith. But he's still the man on top, as J.R. Hager is now second with a 23.27. So Ricky's got a pretty big gap on some of these guys with only about 3 minutes left in qualifying.
Yeah, I see 4 drivers disqualified. Nope, scratch that. 5 drivers disqualified. 2 have yet to qualify, and I believe that's the number 28 that is working his lap right now. Yes, it is. That's Eric Keeter, as Casey Drake is now up to second. So you can see what Eric is. He's the only one that has not yet put in a qualifying time, coming out of turn number 4. Across the line, and he moves up to 6th place with a 23.7. Still one more lap for him, though, as he's only working his second lap now down the back straightaway into turns 3 and 4, just barely running that grip strip there in the corners. Coming out of turn number 4 for the final time for his qualifying lap. Can he better his lap time? Just ever so slightly, but unfortunately for him, it's still in the 23.7 range. It looks like JR is just running a couple of extra laps. And he's in the outside qual. That's something that you gotta look out for, unfortunately. Not sure what happened to JR there, but up and over he goes, coming out of the corner, and honestly, not really sure. Now I just took a hard shot to the outside wall, but he is 3rd place in qualifying, so qualifying is already over. 7 drivers qualified. So first place on their grid is going to be Ricky Smith and that number 82. 2 is outside the 87 of Casey Drake right there, as they are both now positions 1, 2. 3rd and 4th going to be J.R. Hager. In 3rd, 4th place is Malachi Drake. So number 3 has the 00 of Eric Keplinger, starting in 5th place. In 6th place is going to be Eric Heater with the number 28. And then rounding up the field is going to be Donald Warden in the number 42, starting in 7th.
All right, sorry about that. I think my mic was messed up. Can you guys hear me? Okay, sorry about that. That was a communication issue. I don't know what happened. It seems like I got kicked off. But thanks, Gary, for taking the leaderboard. That is Ricky Smith on the pole here tonight for 80 laps at Thompson Speedway. And we're getting ready to go as the pace car is rolling off right now.
At this track, it would be 2 laps of pacing. I haven't raced here in a while, but most notably, I believe it would be short tracks that have 2 laps of pacing. So 2 laps, in this case, right now, so they head after number 4, 1.5 laps of anticipation, and Ricky Smith 5/10 faster than Casey Drake here in the 87. So, and it's only been qualifying as well. So we'll go find out what these drivers can do once the green hits.
Yeah, and before I lost connection, I've never done Discord before. We've always used TeamSpeak, but I was getting ready to make predictions for the race. I think Ricky Smith is the obvious favorite here, but since the Kentucky Derby's coming up, I never like to pick the favorite because you don't win anything if you pick the favorite. So I'm going to go with J.R. Hager I know he's about 7/10 off the lead in qualifying and practice, but J.R. Hager for the win, Gary.
I'm going to have to go with Ricky Smith. He's qualified and showed dominance, and he hasn't even started the race yet. He's only been through qualifying, but that's something that we're going to have to find out as the pace car is just now heading into pit road. 80 laps going to be underway here in just a few months. Ricky Smith down and away already. Green flag is out here at Thompson.
Ricky Smith gets a good jump, but J.R. Hager dives it down into turn 1. I don't know if he'll be able to stick it on there, but he won't, and Ricky Smith will resume the lead.
Huge flip in the back.
And we already got a caution here.
Well, the 0-0 of Eric just took a heavily wild ride there.
Now it's Keplinger. Let's see what happens here. Does the 9 get into him? The 9 car gets into him, and Keplinger takes a wild ride. I've never seen a car flip at Thompson like that before.
I've seen the Legend car flip like that, but not at Thompson. Never have I seen that. This is going to be an interesting ride.
Looks like the 9 car just
oh,
dove it in there too hard. And our producer, Carlos, is saying Keplinger not out of the race. He's not done yet because they got 3 fast repairs here at the Legends Racing League. So Keplinger will be able to fire it up. I know he's going to have to get towed back in, so he might lose a lap or 2. But Keplinger will be allowed to race, continue to race.
That's good. And I can see why they have those 3 fast repairs in the process as well, because Keplinger definitely would have a significant amount of damage after that. So
yeah, he probably would have been done.
Yeah, most notably. Although his engine was not smoking, most interestingly, so it may have been just suspension damage that he suffered.
So with 7 cars here tonight, I didn't think we'd have a lot of cautions. We got our first in the first turn of the race. So hopefully that'll be one of the last of the cautions with only 7 guys here. Typically, when you got a small field, you don't run into too many problems, but you never know what could happen in these races. I haven't driven Legend cars in quite a while, so I don't know how they drive. Maybe they're a little tricky. I don't know.
Well, they're tricky just a little bit, but that's just coming out of the corner. Again, that's always the thing that's going to be... I know I sound like a broken record when I keep saying that, but it's just something that's, again, just something that you have to look out for because, again, too much speed coming out of the corner, and well, next thing you know, there goes your right front suspension or a suspension overall, so the lights are now out on the pace car.
Yeah, the field gets 1 to go. It's Ricky Smith in first. J.R. Hager moved up 1 spot from the start. He started 3rd. He's up to 2nd, and Casey Drake fell back to 3rd as Drake is in the 87 car. So we're going to get ready to rumble here. Hopefully we can stay green for at least 1 lap as we're going to approach lap 6 when we get the green flag here with Ricky Smith out front.
He turns 3 and 4, pace car to pit road, and here they come through the corner. And look at JR. That's possibly a jump scar, and JR had to back up just a little bit. That's most likely going to be a black flag for JR, but he jumped the start. Probably saw Ricky going, and well, next thing you know, that's what happened.
Might have to look at it again. I wonder if Gary missed a gear or he started in a lower gear than what JR did, but we'll see what happens.
You mean Ricky?
Or Ricky, yes. We'll see if they clear the black flag of JR. As the 42 car...
Don Warthouse heavy into the outside wall, got a little bit of contact with the 28, spun it around into the outside.
We're still going green, no caution. 42 car right on that bottom lane. He's going to make contact with the 28 and sends him right around.
He is still going down pit road, but he is well off the pace, about half track distance between he and the leader, or about less than that.
And we talked about Eric Keplinger starting this race. The 02 car spun and contact made with Ricky Smith. As there's still no caution. iRacing isn't throwing the caution.
He is off the racing surface, so it does make sense. And there's the replay.
Gary, it looks like you were just talking about in practice that tight condition, and JR hits the outside wall. And Ricky had nowhere to go. Yeah,
it's just one of those unfortunate moments as heavily unfortunate, but he is sent back with Don, so that's going to be a brewing battle between those two. As right now, Casey Drake has caught his way up to Ricky Smith.
Only a tenth as Casey takes a really high approach there. Tries to get a good run coming off of turn 2. He does. He's going to try to make the pass on Ricky. Ricky's coming to pit road. Ricky Smith coming to pit road on lap number 10. He's got to have damage. I don't know what else he could be coming to pit road for.
It could be suspension, and I wouldn't be surprised because he did tag him in that right front.
But now our leader is Casey Drake. He started second, fell back to third. And after all that craziness that happened on lap number 9, it turns out that Casey Drake is the leader. And he's got an 0.8 of a second lead over Malachi Drake. You think those are brothers?
Possibly. I'm looking at the entry list, and they are from different clubs. So one, Casey Drake from the Midwest, Malachi Drake from Mid-South. So if they are, probably.
We'll have to find that out. Too bad they don't have TeamSpeak Discord. We could talk to them. We love talking to our drivers that are racing, but unfortunately they do not have that. This is just a fun league for them to race every Friday. This is kind of like a late afternoon start, pretty much. So it'll be interesting to see how this league progresses in the future. Casey Drake's still the race leader, and he's got about a second lead over his maybe brother, Malachi Drake. As we were talking about Keplinger restarting this race, I don't think he has restarted the race. He's being showed 11 laps down in last place, in 7th place. Ricky Smith and Donald Wharton are both 1 lap down. And J.R. Hager, who had that incident with Ricky Smith, is still on a lead lap, 10 seconds back in 4th place.
So both Drakes actually heading to pit road right now. They do have 10% fuel, so that could be another reason. So that's going to put the 28 in the lead.
And that has to be the reason, Gary, that these guys are pitting so many times so early in the races. They only got 10% fuel. I did not know that. So that is why Ricky Smith came down pit road, because he's almost running out of gas. And I'm guessing they're going to break these segments down into 10 laps each if it's 10% fuel, so they can virtually probably pit 7 or 8 times.
It would be a good strategy, as right now I'm seeing the number 28 of Eric Heater. He's on pit road, so lap number 16. He's trying to, it looks like, extend this as much as possible. Maybe, I believe Eric is just saving his fast repairs for later, because that's probably...
Yeah, and if you could come down, we saw Ricky pit at lap 10, and then the 28 car of Heater pitted at lap 15. That's a 5-lap gap. If that happens throughout the whole entire run, Heater should have 1 less pit stop than Ricky Smith. So we'll see how this plays out as we're approaching lap number, actually just completed lap number 17 with J.R. Hager out front. I don't think Hager has made a pit stop.
Hager's actually in pit road right now. You can see 28 got sideways coming out of turn number 4 into the infield. Wow, amazing avoidance by number 42. So that's going to put Donald in 5th, and 28's trying to get that back going once again. Yeah, and he's off the racing surface, so iRacing won't throw the caution. There's action, for 7 cars, and I didn't think there'd be this much action, Gary, but we've seen a lot, and we're still about a 4th of the way through. We still got a 4th of the way, 3/4 of the way left. Oh, more contact actually coming out to number 4 again with the 28 and the 42. There's the caution.
And now the caution's out, and Ricky Smith's around. Smith's around after the caution. Casey Drake and Ricky Smith made contact with the spinning car, and it sent Ricky around. Let's see what happens here. They try to avoid this guy who's spinning. Oh, they both got tagged.
That's J.R. Hager. He's actually made contact with the 42 just earlier, before the 87 and the 82 had caught up to that. They basically caught to the tail end of that accident there.
And the 87 moved up just a little bit to avoid the spinning car and ends up hitting Ricky Smith. And the 87 actually got probably quite a bit of damage too. That left side, the front left side, is probably not a place you want to have damage at. So we got a caution here. It's lap 20 out of 80, so 60 laps to go in the Thompson 50. This is 3-wide TV, And Malachi Drake is first right now. Ricky Smith second, but Ricky's in pit road right now. Casey Drake is in third, and Donald Wharton fourth. Eric Heater rounds out your top 5 in the 28 car.
Of course, 6th and 7th are both Jared Hager and Eric Kemplinger. Eric has been in pit road, essentially did not get a chance to complete the first lap, unfortunately. He's still sitting in pit road, however, so most likely, again, saving his fast repairs for a later time. That's probably what JR is doing right now, or else he'd be out of pit road right now. Although he did have to take a tow.
And I'm seeing on the message board, Eric Heater was waved around the pace car, so they do give wave arounds in this league. As JR Hager is being shown 3 laps down. That's a tough break for JR. He seemed like he had a fast car. It seemed like he was one of the only guys that could run with Ricky Smith. But now JR is pretty far back, 3 laps down. That's tough to make up in a short race like this.
Yeah, it's quite unfortunate. And going just by qualifying times in general, 23.2 versus basically 22.5. He's definitely going to have to. He's actually just been waved around once as of right now by race control, so he's getting that wave back as of right now, and so is the 42 of Donald Wharton, who was actually on the lead lap. That's probably a miswave. We're going to see where he falls under. Nope, still in the lead lap is what I'm showing, so
that's probably a mistake.
I'm waiting for scoring to recycle itself.
Yeah, and the pace lights are off here, so we're going to get the 1 to go. As Malachi Drake is the leader, Ricky Smith second. Donald Wharton was waved around the pace car, so he must have been a lap down.
Yeah, just in front of the lead lap cars, but behind the pace car.
Yeah, so he'll restart in 5th. As then our lap down cars, J.R. Hager and Eric Keplinger. I think Keplinger has retired from the race. He's being shown 20 laps down.
Actually, no, he's still on the track.
He's still on the track. The pace car's off, and Malachi gets a big restart. He takes the lead, resumes the lead. As the 87 of Casey Drake is going to look underneath a Ricky Smith.
Side by side coming after number 2, and looks like Casey's just going to let him by. You can see the 00 of Keplinger finally done with repairs, it seems, and almost a little bit of contact there hanging in turns 3 and 4.
There's a heck of a battle going on for 3rd there. 3 wide, coming out of 4, and it's a 00 of Keplinger. He's 21 laps down, but he's still having fun. He's still racing out there.
Almost making a little bit of contact.
And there's the contact. Again. There's JR.
Does keep it straight, though.
87 car takes a dive on there, and I'm noticing that bottom lane isn't the best to make a pass. You might be able to get side by side. Keplinger's around, and there's the caution.
Near avoidance by the 28. Great job for him.
Eric Keplinger didn't get as much damage as his lap 1 wreck. He'll just loop it around here. Looks like he gets contact from JR. Little bit of a tap, goes around, and the caution's out.
It's just one of those moments where just in the middle of the corner that the other driver is just a bit slower. They decide to slow up just a little bit to make sure that they don't come up on that outside wall coming out of the corner. That's exactly what the 00 did, but JR just unfortunately couldn't really do anything, and he was to the inside, just unfortunately not enough.
And we still got pit stops coming in, even though we had a short little start there as Ricky Smith down pit road. And the 9 car, looks like the 9 car, Malachi Drake, is pitting as well. So everybody pretty much pits except the 28 car. The 28 car will resume the lead. That'll be Eric Heater. He'll be the leader, and I'm guessing since Ricky pitted 1 lap earlier, he'll probably resume second.
And it looks like that will be the case. It just depends on who gets out of pit road as quick as possible. Malachi Drake is already out pit road. Most likely going to be 3rd, but we're going to wait for scoring to recycle itself. Ricky is now in 3rd at the moment, so I'm going to see where everybody falls in come 1 to green.
Looks like we're going to have a green flag at lap 30. So there'll be 50 laps to go when we get back racing. I think Gary, this was the third caution, correct? Yeah, 3 cautions for 11 laps. Our main man, Carlos, is just nailing it right now. So 3 cautions, 11 laps. Oh, and here's the weather, ladies and gentlemen. Brought to you by 3 Wide TV. Air temperature, a crisp 83 degrees, wind speed 10 mile an hour. It's a little bit breezy coming out of the northwest, and the track temperature, a stifling 109 degrees. Gary, that's pretty hot.
Yeah, that's about the Arizona temperature this summer. I'm calling it right now.
That would have to be miserable. This Thompson is in Connecticut, right?
Oh, I believe so. And at least it's just the track temperature. So I mean,
yeah, at least it's not the air temperature. But I'm sure the Arizonians are feeling pretty hot right now. It's probably pretty hot in Arizona.
Oh yeah. Anyway, lights are out in the pace car. Eric Keeter first, second. Malachi Drake, Casey Drake third, fourth. Ricky Smith. Don Warden in 5th place, and JR and Eric both still trying to get the laps back. Pace car is off, watching for that 9 car on the outside. Getting a little bit too eager. Green flag is back out. There goes the 28 to the lead as I head down to turns 1 and 2.
And the 28 takes the lead. Let's see if Malachi can get a run off the high lane here as the 87 dips below. And here's that 21 lap down car. Actually, he's 19 laps down right now. That's Keplinger in that 3rd spot. He's actually considered last. 42 takes a dive. Big dive.
Almost just an asphalt slide job in front of the 87. That was poor position after all. 4th place is what I'm seeing right now.
So we got 2 cars in front of this big pack that are multiple laps down, and there's another big wreck. It's Keplinger, JR.
42 is upside down.
And the 42
is Smith involved.
The 42 is wrecked. These guys don't care.
82 of Smith is also involved here, so the replay is just, again, too much throttle, and nope, never mind. That looks like the 00 is trying to get away from the outside wall, and
yeah, it kind of looked like the 02 got a little bit tight as well. I don't know if the 00 bounced off the wall or not.
Nope.
It looks like the 02 got tight there.
I think it looked like Keplinger was trying to avoid the outside wall, which is why he turned down, just misjudged it. And unfortunately, JR, the 42, and the 82 were all just unfortunate. But
42 took a ride.
The A7 and Casey Drake had an interesting view of this wreck in front of him, however.
And there you see Ricky Smith peeling off. So I think Ricky Smith's been a part of 3 out of the 4 cautions tonight. I think JR has been a part of every caution here tonight.
Yeah, there's the nose bumper from the from the 87 of Casey Drake. That was quite an interesting view there.
Yeah, and I'm beginning to think, I don't know how many of these guys have used their fast repairs, but I'm sure a couple of them are down to the last one or have used them all up.
Yeah, this is probably why the 00, however, was waiting to use his fast repairs. After all, he was sitting in pit road for a majority of this race, 19 laps, as he's 19 laps down. Possibly going to get a wave around as much as possible come the moment he actually gets by, as right now the 02 gets his wave around, so he will be back on the lead lap this time by.
Yeah, and if JR can keep it straight and keep it out of trouble, I imagine he'll be a contender for the win here. But he's gotten into almost about 4 accidents here today, so hopefully that's out of his system and he can rebound and maybe contend for this win.
Hopefully he can. That's my pick, I should say. Ricky Smith is 4th place right now, so he's not really had the best of luck in terms of leading as many laps as possible. But here's the thing, though. If Eric here, he's 2nd in points, Malachi Drake 1st in points. They're basically, in terms of on-track positions, reversed that. So coming out of this race, it would be, I believe, it would be the 28 coming out in the lead. After all, they're only 13 points separate them. So definitely a huge advantage for that 28, no doubt.
Yeah, and it'll be interesting to keep track of that as the race comes on. I know 3rd place has a huge gap between 1st and 2nd, but that 1st and 2nd gap, like you mentioned, is fairly close here. So we'll see what happens. And we're not even halfway yet, so we got a long ways to go based on what we've seen here already. But right now it's Eric Heater as your leader with Malachi Drake in second.
So now they're heading down the back straightaway right now, double file, getting ready to go green once again. Closing on the second half of the race, pace car peels off. 28's waiting, and he's going to do head down on the throttle right now, and maybe just a little bit too slow. I think Malachi Drake was anticipating it. Here comes the 87 looking to the inside.
Yeah, the 87 has been pretty normal going down to that bottom on restarts. Let's see if it works out for him, and it does not. He's going to fall back to fourth as JR makes up a couple spots there on that restart. He's in third.
Actually, no, he's still one lap down, so maybe a little bit of error in scoring, but he is a lap down. He would be in third, however, so next time by, if we do get another caution, then he will be back on the lead lap, but he's definitely showing a great performance right now. And the 9 almost into the outside wall. Drake barely keeps it off, thankfully.
Yeah, and that is JR getting around him. JR is going to try to do it the old-fashioned way. He's going to try to pass the leader to get his lap back as Ricky Smith is putting some pressure on the 9 car right now of Malachi Drake.
Almost into the outside wall again, it seems, but right now you can see that number 02 on the outside lane, using that preferred lane, coming off the corner. He's going to be on the lead lap this time by, just in time, as it's halfway right now, 40 laps down, 40 laps to go.
So if we do get a caution right now, it'll put JR back on the lead lap the old-fashioned way. So if we do get a caution, JR will be back on the lead lap. Eric Heater is still the leader, as Ricky Smith is still putting pressure on this 9 car, Malachi Drake. He's going to try to get underneath him, and the 28 car's off the pace.
Oh, he must have been out of fuel.
As the 28 car gets loose, slams the inside wall. Not too sure what happened there. I was paying attention to the battle between second place, and now the caution came out. That'll put J.R. Hager back on the lead lap. Yeah, it kind of looked like he was out of fuel there, Gary.
Yeah, he ran out just coming off the corner. I'm watching the miles per hour, and it just slowly was at about 67, and it just dropped. He tried to get out of the way, but the 82 went down low, and 87 got upside down, taking a few barrel rolls, and there's the gauge.
So it's kind of interesting. I'd like to talk with the 28 car of Eric. I'm not sure. We had multiple cautions and multiple times to make a pit stop. Maybe he just didn't read his fuel correctly.
That could be a possibility. Actually, the 42, I want to correct myself, the 42 didn't get a piece of that 87. Don Warren did not make contact with Casey Drake. He just barely came up on the tail end of that wreck.
So after this all shuffles around, it kind of looks like Malachi actually showing Ricky Smith as the leader. As the leaderboard's just changing every 5 seconds. Right now I got J.R. Hager as the leader with Ricky Smith in second.
Yep, so good job to J.R. Hager, though, as he's now, he doesn't have to get a wave run because he just did this, again, the old-fashioned way, doing it the right way and the much more entertaining way instead of just getting a wave run under caution. Getting your lap back by passing the leader.
And now we see JR going down pit road. He's going to get a probably full of fuel and a tire change. That'll resume the lead to Ricky Smith, as Smith hasn't been the leader too much here tonight. He's been obviously the fastest car tonight, but he has not led as many laps as we anticipated. But he'll lead coming to the green here with roughly around 34 or 33 laps to go. And you see Ricky Smith has led only 6 laps today, so started first. He was first in practice, pretty much first in everything, but has ran into a little bit of trouble here tonight. But still, like I mentioned earlier, we still got a long way to go, 35 laps to go.
Yeah, he was first, again, like you mentioned, first in practice, qualify, but if he can get first here, he's basically just he'll basically do a clean sweep of Thompson, just not in any separate series, although in terms of timing and sessions, that is definitely a good thing for him. As you can see, the number 9 in the second place position, Malachi Drake, and J.R. Hager in third, and all these drivers actually taking so long to repair their cars, is that I'm seeing 4th place on the back a lap or more down.
So, Gary, do you think some of these guys, their fast repairs have ran out?
Possibly at this point, especially if you're Eric, although he's probably, again, still saving his, probably if he does have 2 left as the pace car lights are out right now, he's probably saving his last 2 if he does have 2 more fast repairs left. He's still 16 laps down, unfortunately.
Well, you never know. If we keep getting cautions, Keplinger, well, he might just get back on the lead lap, win this thing.
That is true.
As we're approaching, we're going into turn number 3. The pace car, the lights are off, so we're going to go green here with 33 laps to go. Ricky Smith on the throttle. He'll get a good restart. 4 cars battling out here right now.
Look at the 87 of Casey Drake, 3 laps down, but he's still, again, having fun. Trying to get by. Oh, and goodness, contact.
Here we go. JR. He saves it, though. JR saves it, thankfully.
That is an amazing save there.
As JR is on the lead lap. Some of these guys can't. Actually, JR just drove up into the 87 there. You can't put any blame on the 87 car. JR definitely racing aggressive. Let's see if he can come back from that. As Ricky Smith, still the leader, Malachi in second.
1.1 seconds, 1.2 seconds now, 0.3 seconds. Starting to see a pattern here as right now Ricky Smith is completely increasing that lead as much as he can, but right now Casey Drake has set his sights, though not for position, on that number 9.
Yeah, and I'm seeing the field right now. This is the most spread out they've been the whole entire race, except this battle for really not a battle for anything here, just a lap car trying to pass second place. So maybe we can go a couple laps under green. Let's see if these guys can stay clean, and it doesn't happen. 87 around. I don't think that'll bring out the caution, though. He slips into the infield.
9 got into the wall after number 4.
As he'll keep on going, the 9 car resumes in second. But Gary, you mentioned it before the race even started that coming out of the turns would be the most trickiest spot. We've definitely seen it here today.
Yeah, I believe not just the 87, but I think the 82 and Jared Hager are also a part of that caution out on the raceway.
And it's the 28 car, Eric Heater. Looks like he looped it around.
He took a wild ride down the back straightaway. As the replay got a little bit loose, heavy into the outside wall, upside down for a majority of it.
As that'll definitely bring out the caution. Eric Heater was running P6. He was actually 4 laps down. And it seemed like he was one of the guys that didn't have any fast repairs left. So it'll be interesting to see if he can get back on track. As we got a caution here, I'd like to bring up some of our upcoming broadcasts. This Monday will be our 3-wide Racing Race Kings Cup Series event. And that'll be at Five Flags Speedway. So if you guys want to tune in, the racing's starts at 10:15 Eastern Time. That'll be Monday. And then Tuesday, we do the Drive for SP Series Truck Series. Cool little league on Tuesday nights. That series is a late night league, starts around 11 o'clock. So 11:30, producer Carlos tells me. So we got races on Monday and Tuesday, so if you guys want to tune in. It won't be me doing the broadcast. One broadcast will have our producer Carlos up in the booth. And on Mondays will be 2 other guys, Justin Kolb and Tanner Sharp as the Monday broadcast. So that's what we got coming up. I'm not too sure where the truck series, the Drive for SP Truck Series race is at on Tuesday, but I know for sure we will be having live coverage. And producer Carlos, he's right on it. He says the race is at Dover on Tuesday night. So we're going to do a little bit of Dover racing, just like the Cup Series is doing this week, running at Dover. As we got 26 laps to go here, and it's still Malachi Drake in the lead, Ricky Smith in second. I think Ricky actually made a pit stop, and I'm not sure if Malachi did or not. Yeah, and Malachi has not pitted. Ricky Smith did make a pit stop. We got 25 laps to go. I don't think that'll be enough to make it, Gary. I'm thinking that maybe 15 laps is the longest these guys can run.
Yeah, it sure seems that way. So if you can run at least up until from 25 laps to go, which I believe is not even now as of yet. Nope, it is now. I can't do math, apparently. So right now we're on 25 laps to go, 24 laps to go. So 23, provided we get the green flag this time by, or at least the one to go signal.
Yeah, so
to find out here.
So to be safe, I'm imagining these guys will probably come down pit road if we do say green within the next probably about 13 laps. Give you about 11 or 12 laps to go in this race to make a pit stop. But you don't want to pit too early because we've seen a lot of cautions here tonight. So you don't want to be on pit road when the caution comes out and be trapped a couple laps down.
Yeah, being trapped a few laps down, unfortunately, that's the case for the 42 and the 87. They're going to be racing for essentially what would be the lucky dog position, but considering that everybody gets waved as much as possible, then that's not really going to be the case. But pace car is off, and the number 9 Malachi Drake in control. He's already down in the way. Green flag is out. The O2 gets a little bit loose. Ricky Smith on his outside, they enter turns 1 and 2.
And we've noticed the O2 of J.R. Hager really
contact
pushing
in the back, 42.
And here's another one. We got another caution. It's the 42 car. Donald Wharton. Not too sure who's going to get the lucky dog there because both of them crashed.
Probably both of them, anyway.
Let's see what happens here. Donald on the outside. And he makes contact with the 28. Came down just a little bit and looped her around, and that'll bring out the caution. You see the 87 car spinning out. That probably ruined his chance at the lucky dog, making an incident point.
So it looks like the 42 just came down, misjudged the distance as just a little bit right there, yep.
So that'll do it right there.
Yeah, 42 almost had a Donald Wharton, but unfortunately he called it just a bit too soon, and that's why you have to wait for your spotter to call out inside or clear.
In this caution, the 7th caution, and they've ran 26 laps under caution here right now. I think they've completed roughly 59 laps. So almost half the race has been run under caution. They're averaging about a caution every 10 laps or so. But we're going to have about 18 or 19 laps when we get this restart. That won't be enough to make it on fuel unless you can really, really stretch it. But I do see everybody coming down pit road right now.
Yeah, basically everybody in pit road, aside from the 87 of Casey Drake, who I'm seeing is already out pit road almost. Looks like he almost spun out coming in, almost overshot as well. Had to really get on the binders.
And there's the O2 away, 9 car away. I think Ricky Smith only took 2 tires because he was one of the first guys to come out.
He didn't even take tires.
So he just fueled her up. And you really don't need to take any tires right now because we've ran so little laps under green flag.
Yeah, the heat in these tires have really... These cautions have given the tires a chance to cool down a little bit. So it does make sense that these drivers have not yet really thought about getting tires.
And that'll be Ricky Smith, your leader. J.R. Hager has had an up and down day, but he's up to 2nd right now. Malachi falls back to 3rd. Like I mentioned, I haven't done too much asphalt racing in these legend cars, but I've just recently been starting to run a lot of dirt track stuff in these legend cars, Gary. And I don't know if you've done any of this dirt stuff with the legend cars, but they've been a blast. I think they're one of the most fun series on dirt.
Yeah, it's very exciting as we are getting word that everyone is on the lead lap aside from Eric Keplinger. So Eric Heater in the 28, he's going to be coming across the start-finish line this time around, and he is now scored a lap down at the moment. So probably just one more time around for him, and he should be just fine. So Keplinger from 13 laps down to 12 laps down.
Yeah, and Keplinger started, I think the highest he was as far as laps down was 21 laps. So he's made up almost half of his laps. He's actually 12 laps down right now. So I don't think he's going to get them all back, but we'll see what happens. As that is one to go. Pace car. The lights are off on the pace car. 82 car. Ricky Smith is your leader right now. Hager in 2nd. And let's see if Malachi, he's led the most laps here today. The laps are winding down though, so he's going to have to try to make a move. It'll be tough to do on Ricky Smith, as we've seen. He is the fastest guy here today. Pace car is off. Smith gets a big jump on the field.
That was a great start for the number 82 on this restart, as right now he's completely stretched the gap ever so slightly, just enough to get that lead out, as we're going to be hitting 15 laps to go, and I think the O2 got a piece of that wall coming out turn number 2.
Yeah, the O2 is definitely pushing. Smith kind of drifts up the track a little bit, but that'll get him a good run coming off. Is JR right on the rear of Ricky Smith. Let's see if he can do anything with him with 15 laps to go. He drives it in really hard there.
An amazing onboard shot, and oh, just another piece of that wall coming off turn 2. That's going to stretch the gap ever so slightly. Actually, the JR has gotten the fastest lap of the, well, not of the race, but fastest lap overall last time around, 22.916. That's the last time around. This time around, it goes to Ricky Smith with 22.8. So JR has actually gotten through that barrier, but
a little bit loose there.
Unfortunately though, that wall is not playing nice with him.
Yeah, if you're going to go one-on-one with Ricky, I think you're probably going to lose, as Ricky's pulling away about a tenth, 2/10 of a second every lap, as you ran a 22.94 that lap, and J.R. Hager a 23.08. So if Ricky keeps this up, he should have no problem winning this race, but we've seen cautions come out every so often. So let's hope not. And actually, I think these guys, if we calculated it right, they're probably going to have to make one more pit stop.
JR got a piece of the wall coming out turn number 2 the last time around, so that set him back a lot more than necessary. 2/10 off of his previous lap time, 23.2. So that turn, he's been great in turns 3 and 4, just coming out of that corner. But unfortunately, turn 2 not playing nice with him. So he's running that high line currently, but right now that just gives the advantage to Ricky Smith.
Yeah, I think JR's hit that turn 2 wall a good number of times already today, and it's probably put some damage on that car for this run. As we're seeing a battle here between the 28 and the 9 and the 42. The 28 is a lap down, but he's still racing with these guys. Donald Wharton, actually, Malachi Drake wants around him. Donald Wharton is in 4th trying to catch these guys.
Oh, contact between the 87 and the 42.
Here we go. There's the caution.
And another spin just in front of him, the 9 and the 28.
28 to 9 makes contact. 28 goes around. We're going to have a caution here with just under. Actually, it'll be 10 laps to go, so that'll make all these guys come down pit road. So fuel mileage will not play a case. And that was a racing deal, just contact, and the 28 came around.
The actual cause of the caution was the 42 and the 87, because the 42 of Donald Wharton, he actually got the wall coming out turn number 2. And then just unfortunately made contact with the 87. So right now he's in pit road. That was the cause for the caution, actually. So 87 tried to go around on the outside, and could have been for the 28 as well. So 2 separate incidents brought out the caution.
So let's see the race off pit road here. This is going to pretty much decide it all when we get to the restart, as JR right on the butt of the 82 of Smith. Let's see who can get out of the pits faster. See, it looks like all of them are. Yeah, kind of looks like all of them are taking some sort of tires. We noticed Ricky didn't take any tires last pit stop. Ricky away. Malachi away, actually. He'll restart second.
JR taking 4 tires.
As the top 2 guys takes 2 tires, and J.R. Hager taking 4 tires. Let's see if that'll make a difference here when we get the green flag with roughly about 5 laps to go.
This is going to be an amazing shootout here.
Now, Gary, we had about a good almost 10-lap run there. Will 2 tires and 4 tires mean any of a difference here, or will it not matter?
That depends on what tires you take, as Ricky took rear tires, and there's the 28 and the infield almost spinning out. There it is right there. Not sure what happened to him. I believe he just powered it off the corner, coming out pit road. Yep, just a little bit, clipped the grass, and he's fine, though. He kept it off the inside wall. This is going to be, there's left side tires on the infield grass.
And he's taking a little bit of a ride. Maybe he likes the dirt.
I'd be surprised, as the last race was held on dirt, so pace car lights are still on, and finally is the 28 on back on the lead lap. So unfortunately, Double Zero stuck 11 laps down as of right now.
Coming to 5 laps to go, I'm guessing the pace lights will be off when we hit the line here. So we're going to get the restart with 4 laps to go. Ricky Smith, this will be actually the last restart. We won't get another one if we have another caution. Ricky Smith in first, Malachi in second. We got to watch J.R. Hager. He's the only one with 4 tires right now. He's working, looking to make a battle for these guys. We know Ricky Smith has been the fastest guy here. But with 4 tires, it could mean something. And we know that JR has been aggressive this whole entire race.
Yeah, we know that JR was almost had that run. And just as I said, is that the rear tires and front tires, it depends. So the front tires matter the most because those are your turning tires. Rear tires, they just give you traction and they just make your car move forward. So JR at the best advantage. It's always the classic 2 versus 4. Which ones are you going to take? Well, JR took 4. We're going to find out what's going to be the best. Ricky Smith already down in the way. 3 laps to go. 4 laps to go. It's across the start finish line.
And there's the wreck, and that's going to be the caution. That's going to do it.
Oh, goodness. And that's JR, no less.
JR just spun his tire.
Somebody else, Casey Drake, heavy flipping into turns 1 and 2.
So we couldn't see if the 4 tires were going to work out as JR just gets loose and overcorrects it into the outside wall.
And then just in front of that, the 87, the 28 make contact, and that sends the 87 for a wild
87 up. And I want to see the onboard of the 00 car because that number 02 car flipped right over top of the 00 Keplinger.
That was quite of an interesting wreck as well. 2 flips, so this gives the win to...
Let's see right here.
Ricky Drake.
He's just going along, and...
Oh! Hello.
And that'll do it. That was kind of an anticlimactic ending to this race, but our winner, nonetheless, is Ricky Smith. So he's won every event that we had here today, practice qualifying in the race, as we're seeing JR taking a tumble. Hopefully he's all right. Has he gotten out of his car yet?
I think he's still going, actually.
Still going.
Yep, he's still going. Drifting in turns 3 and 4 right now. And spun it in 4. Oh, this is why. Oh, goodness. This could be worse.
That was a nice flip.
That was an interesting gyro gap. Nope. JR's actually decided to retire the car, so he was going, but not anymore. So, final lap here under caution as of right now. Of course, this advances the winning streak that we had, I believe. I'm double checking right now. So 4 different drivers have won 4 different races. Ricky Smith is about to be the 4th driver as they come out turn number 4 right now under caution. And across the line, Ricky Smith wins here at Thompson.
Yeah, Ricky Smith is the leader. He wins the race. Malachi finishes 2nd, 3rd, Donald Wharton. We got 4th, Eric Heater. And 5th place, rounding out the top 5, is Casey Drake. So that'll probably help Ricky in the points. He has a pretty big deficit on these guys, 1st and 2nd. I think Malachi is going to keep the points lead here ahead of Eric Heater. So a good run for Malachi to keep the points lead. He winds up P2.
JR now at the start-finish line. Perfect parking, actually, right there. So, will he burn it down is the question.
Look at all these fans here. It's packed at Thompson.
Well, it's Legends. Of course it is. And there he goes. Quite anticlimactic, but hey, if you can make a burnout work in the Legends...
Hell of a burnout.
Go ahead. It works.
It's a classic burnout. As he's celebrating it. Celebrating for all these fans here at Thompson, enjoying a nice Friday afternoon race as they're getting ready for a big holiday coming up tomorrow, Cinco de Mayo. And if anybody's wondering,
oh, Carlos, of course.
If anybody's wondering how I'm going to celebrate Cinco de Mayo, I'll probably be at my local Mexican joint, drinking some margaritas and having a good time with all my friends. As here's the unofficial results. It's Ricky Smith first, Malachi Drake second, Donald Warden third, Eric Heater fourth, Casey Drake fifth, J.R. Hager 2 laps down in sixth, and Eric Keplinger 11 laps down. Eric, you almost did it. You were 21 laps down when the race basically started. You ended up 11 laps down. To round out the field in seventh. And that'll do it here for the Legends Racing League, the Thompson 50. And thank you, everybody, for watching here tonight. This is 3 Wide TV. Make sure you subscribe to 3 Wide TV if you want to watch more broadcasts of us on iRacing. But for now, we're heading off. Thank you guys all for watching. Enjoy your nice little holiday tomorrow, Cinco de Mayo, and we appreciate you for watching.